Welcome to the Coach Poe Show. This week we have an exciting guest with us today. Head coach Mike Jacobs from Lenoir-Rhyne after a thrilling 31-28 victory in overtime last week over Limestone. Coach has been nice enough to hop on the show this week, talk a little bit about that game and what the rest of the season is going to look like here in the South Atlantic Conference. So without any other further ado, we're going to hop right in with Coach Jacobs. Welcome, Coach. Thank you for getting on the Coach Poe Show this week.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Justin.
Absolutely. Coach, that was a gritty overtime win against a tough Limestone team. Some things went your way, some things did not. What were some of your takeaways from that game now that you've had some time to reflect on it?
You hit the nail on the head with gritty, right? We've last few years I've been here, we seem to either be way out in front of everybody or kind of on the wrong side of these close games. And I was so proud of how our kids persevere. There wasn't any moping. They weren't down. There was belief that we were in the game the entire time, and it took just a few more minutes than 60, but we got it done. But their resolve, their perseverance, the grittiness to gut out that win, and really, I thought that we made some critical plays at the very end when it mattered the most.
For sure. How does a game like that help prepare you for the rest of the season and ultimately, hopefully, a playoff run here?
Yeah, I think it hardens your team. It should give them a little bit of an edge. It should provide them with some confidence that they can overcome obstacles. Right, the breaks aren't always going to go our way. The most important play is the next one. Like we have to stay in that mentality, and the things we just talked about, the grit, the perseverance. Those are only garnered through games like we just had. Now, there's a million things we got to get better at and clean up. I mean, Limestone's a really good football team. I really believe if Dustin Noller had been healthy, there's a good chance they come into that game probably undefeated. And, so we had our hands full, and we knew that. That's a talented roster, especially offensively. But, from a statistical standpoint, there's certainly things we got to clean up before we face a really strong Barton team this weekend.
Absolutely. And you said it. You had some guys step up, particularly late in that game that had to make some plays. What do you tell your team after a win like that? I mean, what is your message to them?
You just got to keep believing. You got to trust in the things that we work on and that we value highly as a program. I mean, we won that game on a block kick, and special teams has been something we've been able to hang our hat on some this year. Truly is the third phase of the game. It's affected a number of our outcomes positively. And, to have a kid of the caliber of Sedarius Kelly, our all conference corner, come off the edge and make a great play to block the kick. And then TJ Blanding, perfect technique. He sided the ball, he grabbed the points, and he's a fast kid. And, I think one of the really cool things on that, a lot of people don't realize unless they follow the Bears is almost a year ago to this week, TJ broke his femur in our Barton game in 2022. And so for him to come in and make this tremendous impact play when some folks didn't think he was going to play football anymore, it's just really special. And that's kind of been this year. I believe this team's tighter than any of the, three previous ones that we've had. They had a really strong training camp. They've had, great practice habits throughout the course of the season. And those small things showed up in the most critical moments Saturday again against a good Limestone team.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head because my next question to you was, you're 6-0 for the third time since 2014. What makes this team a little bit different? And you just kind of said it. It's just that togetherness.
Yeah, we have a lot of kids that have played a lot of football now, right? I mean,
yeah.
You look at guys like John Ross May. That's a kid with 200 tackles in his career, and he's still got a year of eligibility left. And Dwayne McGee and Keelan Parsons, who's been a little bit banged up, but Xavier Jennings, Blake Jefferson. I mean, we got guys that are now 3 and 4 year starters in this program where, we've been on the younger side the last couple of years. In 2021, there's some, key vets that were back, and Dan Luba and Amari and Grayson Willingham and Derek and some of those guys, but a lot of these young dudes played, and you're seeing some of that game experience. They got almost 30 games under their belt now, and they know to persevere, and they did a great job of that on Saturday.
Excellent. And I guess starting to look ahead now, right? Put this game behind us, and as we start looking ahead, you have a one-loss Barton team coming in. They're playing well right now, and they're trending. How do they look, and what can we kind of expect to see this week from the Bulldogs?
Yeah, I mean they're a darn good football team. Chip Hester, I have a tremendous amount of respect for, their head coach. He was a tremendous coach at Catawba for a number of years. He knows how to win games in the SAC conference, and similar to us, they've been playing these kids since they started the program.
Yeah,
The quarterback, who was the SAC Offensive Player of the Week last week, is a dual threat kid to run and throw it. Jordan Terrell's arguably, again,
yeah,
he's backs between Dwayne McGee on our own roster, Trey Stewart, who we saw last weekend, and Jordan Terrell. I mean, those are three of the top backs in the nation, and they're all in the same division in one conference. And
yeah,
so, they're going to try to run the football and utilize the quarterback's feet. Defensively, the guy in the middle, the linebacker, John Perry's a 150 plus tackle guy. He seems like he's been playing forever, and that kid plays hard. He's the heart of their defense, and more than anything, they're playing with confidence, kind of the same way we are. I mean, this is going to be another battle this weekend. We're looking forward to it.
yeah. Excellent. And you've been in the SAC now a couple of years. And so you've gotten to see pretty much everybody and kind of the ins and outs. As you look at the SAC, it seems to be getting stronger across the board. What do you think that says about the conference and kind of where we are right now?
Yeah, I think it's one of the strongest conferences in Division Two, top to bottom. After having been in the Mountain East for a while and coached in the PSAC, I think that the caliber of head coaches and assistants in this conference, and you look at guys that continuity means something. We forget that nowadays, and guys like Tim Clifton, who's been in the league for 27 years, and Coach Reich at Wingate,
Yep.
who's been in the league for 23 years, and you see those are two of the teams that year in and year out are as consistent as anybody. And Coach Fury at Limestone turned them around in a hurry, and Coach Knight's coming off about there's guys that coach at a high level. They have consistency in their staffs, and that helps in recruiting and developing relationships with high school coaches. And that's what we're trying to establish here. And really, what season 3.4 for us, something like that. Couple
Yeah.
of those spring 2020 games mixed in.
Yeah, for sure, coach. Well, I appreciate you taking time. I know, time is precious this time of the year, particularly midweek and stuff like that. So I appreciate you taking a couple minutes, hopping on the show this week. Good luck. Good luck this week. Good luck the rest of the way. And I sure do appreciate you taking some time, coach.
Yeah, no doubt, Justin. I think what you guys do at D2 football and just the coverage you provide and the insight and putting it out there is tremendous for our level of play. And we thank you guys for all that you do and all the time and effort y'all put into this stuff.
Thanks, coach. Appreciate it. And once again, good luck this week and the rest of the way.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in this week. We were joined today by head coach Mike Jacobs from Lenoir-Rhyne. Another big game this week. We've got a ton of action across the South Atlantic Conference, so stay tuned and enjoy your football Saturday.